God. Becky, look at her butt. It is like so big. It's just like one of those rap guys' girlfriends. Okay, hey people. So it's only been way too long since our last little stint. Yeah. So here's the thing. I can't be working on the brioche because I have to I'm trying to work for the allotted amount of time here, which at this point, since we're late, it's not going to be as long. But, you know. Anyway, I'm having trouble. I'm tired. My head hurts. It's not what I would call a good time. There was some excitement that went on today at work. Okay. I won't say anything about it other than friggin' wow. Like, wow. Hey! What are you doing? Doggo is being suspicious. Anyway. So, super sus, peeps. Like, really. I thought it was funny because raisins. Everybody else was like shocked, slightly dismayed. And I was like, I don't understand why y'all are shocked. Like, this is somebody who didn't have their life together, and now they're spiraling again. So I guess we'll tell an abbreviated version of the story. So way back last year, right? I started this job. Okay, right? I started this job. And then a few months in, the store manager dipped. Apparently, the store manager dipped because has personal problems. The kind that involves like a staircase. All right, and we'll just let you draw your own conclusions about that. Anyway, right? It's pretty good. It's pretty believable. Pretty, I don't know if reasonable is the right word. That doesn't sound like the right word, but it's a pretty understandable reason why someone might need to abdicate, right? So, at the time, nobody knew anything who was there. All we knew was that the store manager was suddenly no longer going to be there, and everybody found out the day of, and just found out. By found out, I mean, hey, yeah, I'm leaving and not coming back. Like, so I don't like this person. Okay, let's just put that out there. That said, I don't think that you owe your coworkers an explanation of like personal stuff. It's personal, right? Like, I think as a courtesy, not telling people literally right before you were going to leave would have been the right thing to do. But I don't think that, like, an explanation was needed. Go lay down. Go lay down. You're acting sus. Dog's always acting sus. So, like, in the person's defense, sure, you don't need to give, like, people any explanation, like, heads up or otherwise. Like, it's your personal business is your personal business. But this is the store manager, okay? They're the only person who does their job. The people below the store manager cannot do the store manager's job because they're not trained to. And they're about to all be high and dry. Right? And so the entire store struggled without a store manager for months. Um, and, you know, the two people who were up front were getting their necks breathed down about no overtime, no overtime, no overtime, right? It was store manager position was empty, but the person right below them, the service manager, was being made to do the store manager's job, having no knowledge of this, like, position. And so that put them in, like, a really terrible spot, right? Stressed everybody out. Now, me, personally, the fucks I have to give are zero. So, all I'm there to do is to collect a paycheck. Like, I'm going to do my job, and I'm going to do my job right. Because that's the kind of person that I am, right? But don't get it twisted. At the end of the day, I am there to collect a paycheck. Yeah, that's it. Now, I still believe that regardless of, you know, that situation, that mindset, I still have to do my job to a certain standard. Period. Right? That's non-negotiable for me. Like, the standard needs to be met. Now, am I going to do extra? Oh, hell no. Right? Like, no. Like, you're out your mind. But I absolutely need to do my entire job. And I do. But I'm not going to stay late. I'm not going to come in on my days off. I'm not going to come in earlier. I'm not going to do extra tasks that are outside of the scope of what I'm actually supposed to be doing. Like, that's non-negotiable. That's a hell no. Not a no, but a hell no. And I think that's fair, right? Like, hey, you want to compensate me for the extra stuff you're asking me to do? Sure, yeah. Be happy to do that. So this person comes back, they blow back in. Everybody is like wary. Me, on the other hand, I'm like, this sounds like a load of horse shit, because this joker dipped, left everybody in a lurch, and we're all supposed to be happy that they're back just because it's another body in the building? Oh, I don't think so. So I didn't like this person to begin with. I was neutral, though. Like, until I have a reason to dislike you, my feelings on you are null, right? And I think that's fair. Once I've, like, made a judgment call on you, no, that's pretty much where we're staying. So, like, at the point that you have aired into you're a tool, oh yeah, no, I don't like you, and I'm pretty much assuredly never gonna like you. Now, I don't have a problem with this. This doesn't bother me, right? I don't have to like you to work with you. I can still do my job just as well if I hate your guts as if I actually like you. Because I'm not there to like you. And as long as you treat me like a person, we're good to go. Right? Now, when the person came back, we had all adapted, right, to a certain working environment. Like, we developed systems and ways to, like, do things and get things done and keep the ship running, right? And then this person comes in and wants to be in charge, wants to run things, wants to, like, upend the boat that's been, like, floating, all right, and, like, step in as if nothing ever happened and just do their thing. Which was a bunch of horseshit, okay? Like, seriously, what the fluff? So, naturally, that didn't go well. Now, I am one of two femmes at the place at this time. The other femme was involved with this person and had a personal, like, relationship and just also had known them, right? So they're how they were with that person and how I am is very different. And those are, like, the obvious, right? The obvious reasons. Now, that we got a, for one, we got a weird, like, fucking conflict of interest, right? We've also we've also got the whole shit messiness of, like, lines crossed, and then you've got just people interpersonal stuff, right? So, like, it's a lot. It's a lot. It's a fucking lot. Anyway, long to, you know, the point of this part of the story is I work with a bunch of people who identify as male, right? And because of that, there are certain, like, dynamics that tend to be followed, right? They tend to not want to they tend to not want to rock the boat or complain or whatever, and, like, how they sort out differences and conflicts is very specific, yada yada yada, and all this other stuff. And hey, okay, that's fine. Like, that's how you operate, whatever. As a femish person, that doesn't fly. Like, that doesn't work. That's how you get stepped on, overlooked, or, you know, backburnered. And I will not be silenced, quiet, or set aside, because I present as them. Nah. Mm-mm. So I have been wary of this person since they've been back, because you have already demonstrated to me that I cannot trust you, right? And it was demonstrated in other ways, at other points, right? And that's it. Like, once you cross that line, like, that's it. I can't trust you. I can't. And again, I can still work with you, but I'm not going to trust you. So that's just all there is to it. So I have been aware of this person since they come back. I have not trusted them, and we have gotten into it a couple times, or we have butted heads, if you will. So the thing with it is because I present as femme, right? There's a lot of things that end up happening. There's a lot of things that get said in relation to me, and, like, my presence is handled a specific way, so on and so forth. And some of those things is that I guess some people think they can cow me. Unfortunately, though, the answer to that is no. That is not something that is going to happen. If you push me, I will push back. And I have the sense to push back in the right way. And often me pushing back is just me standing my ground and, like, putting my foot down and saying, no, this is what we're not going to do, is this bullshit. And there's a couple of times where, like, we had words, and one of those exchanges of words involved me getting pulled into the office to speak with this person, and they're saying, I don't know what the problem is. Like, the problem is things have been running, things have been working, and this is the established order, and there's no reason for it to change, and so no. Well, that's not what I hired you for. That's doesn't matter. This is what's going on now. Like, shit changed. Well, when this happened, doesn't matter. It's how things are. Like, period. This is what happened. Deal with it. Like, accept that this is reality. And I said, look, if I am absolutely needed after a certain period of time, right? That's fine. But that's not something I can do on the regular. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. Oh, goodness. Uh-oh. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16. 6, 8. Okay. I was just making sure that we had the right amount. Regardless, though, it was funny because I guess the thing with it is that I know my value as an employee, right? Like I know I am good at what I do. I show up. Right now, punctuality is not this is not my strong suit. I've been having problems with that, and that's because I've run 2 businesses, right? I have a sleeping disorder. I like have mental health issues to deal with, and like all of these things are coming together to kind of like make existing really difficult, right? So the goal is to get to 32 stitches right now. We started off at 26. By the way, this is where we just added 2 more, so we're at 28 now. We're finishing the back row of this 28. Which just means I don't think I'm going to stream for 2 hours. I don't know, though. Like, I don't know. Actually, I'm definitely not going to stream for 2 hours because I want to get a picture of this updated. And, like, the toe of the sock is the next. That's the next picture I've got to get. Okay. Which actually reminds me. Let's do this. So, needless to say, this person is now gone. Like, they're gone. Things happened. I guess I'll leave it. No, I'll take another toe picture. Yeah. The long and short of this person is just gone now. Like, and gone permanently. And everybody's very shocked. And I am not shocked. I think that the reasons they left this time and all the other stuff is just like, what? But people do wild shit, so whatever, right? Like, whatever. That was just, oh god, it was a lot. Now everybody was shocked, and I like hid behind a car and started laughing my ass off because I know things. And I will leave that out of the story. But I know things. And some things happened that were predicted isn't the right word. But to some parties, these things were not surprising for very specific reasons. How the situation happened to actually play out. And that's what's funny. Is the whole saw this coming to a point. Like, in a very specific way. And I made some statements, like, to work wife. I was like, look, this is going to get handled. And it's going to get handled like this. And it may take some time. But, yeah. It's going to get handled. And God, it's fucking hilarious. It's fucking hilarious. It's hilarious just because it happened. It exactly happened. I don't wish that I could tell y'all. Like, I don't. Because it's not wholly relevant. But I'm also 100% okay with, like, just knowing that something happened and that being, like, enough for me. So, like, I don't need to tell anybody. But it's funny as hell. So I don't know what's up with these headaches. I got another one today. I think I had one like last week. I guess really back to our subject at hand before we leave it. What's not great about this situation is that we're going to have somebody else step into that position. And the thing with somebody stepping into that position is this person is new to everybody, and God only knows how they're going to be. And they could be like a total fucking tool. Now, the person who came to handle all this business said, oh, I've already got somebody, they're coming in, and there's a really good person, and they're really fair. And I'm like, that sounds like code for some shit, right? Like, really fair sounds like you might be a bit of a hard ass, which can translate into you just being an asshole. And yeah. And one of the exact wording, some of the exact wording that was used was, "Oh, this guy is going to make y'all money," and I'm just like over where I am in the conversation of, I don't get paid extra. Like, I don't get a percentage of any of the work I do. I just get paid to be here, so they're not going to make me any money. And it's my understanding the service manager doesn't get paid any commission. Like, we're not. I think theoretically there's supposed to be a bonus for the service manager if they do like a certain amount of sales, but that hasn't been happening, and so I don't know anything about that. Actually, I can ask Workwife because Workwife is one of the service managers now, just at a different store. Or anyway, so I'm not going to get anything. The service manager theoretically isn't going to get anything. The inspector and the flat rate tech, they get a percentage of certain jobs they do. Like, it gets billed a certain way. But it's not necessarily like incentive. So the only person who really makes any money, like based off of those percentages, is the one that everybody hates. Who incidentally is also the one who makes the most money at the store right now, probably. Like, I think the store manager maybe have been the only person who was making more than this person. And that's the other person who's a problem. And he happens to be out all week. He is actually working at another store. And I gotta tell you, I have to keep him. I really do. Really, I think he should just not work for the company anymore because he doesn't want to do his job, like, at all. And if you don't want to do your job, I think you just need to go away. I've already told everybody, like, train me to do his job and I'll do it. Like, hands down. Sorry. I'll do his job and I'll do the stuff that I'm doing now. Like, one of the problems that everybody has is that this person thinks that they don't have to do certain things. Like, oh, I didn't get hired to do this, or this is not my job position. Actually, it is. Hello! We're talking trash today. Because I'm like that. So, as a point of reference, this person's job description was pulled, and they double-checked it. And, all the things that they're insisting that they don't need to do, that is not their job. No, it absolutely is their job. And they just don't know what they're talking about. Which, like, happens, whatever. So, I think it's funny. Funny, haha. Me, whatever. I'll do that job. I will take a raise 100% to do his job. So there you go. I think that's all the tea. Or that's the amount of tea I can spill, or that I'm willing to spill. So I guess the other update is I have somebody in my inbox that's talking to me. And I don't know, y'all. I don't know. Nice enough person. Sure. I think we're looking for a certain amount of refinement. Gotta tell you, don't think it's here. I try to be fair, right? Give everybody a chance. I don't just immediately discount people. But I think I'm definitely looking for something specific, and this is it. This is not it. Yeah. So weird. It seems like this person is super busy, and so am I. So I don't even know how we're gonna like interact outside of like random text messages. Now that said, there's a degree of like attentiveness this person has attempted. And I gotta tell you, I'll give you brownie points for that. Like, good job. Really though, I'm sure a friend would be just like, you shouldn't set the bar so low. And I'm like, I mean, have you tried to date? Because it's bad. Now, I did watch a bunch of TikToks randomly where, like, I guess this woman, like, was considering dating again. And she's like, why am I so unimpressed with all these men? And I was like, oh, I know that feeling. And some of the people in the comments were like, you know, when you've been single for a while, right, and you've got your shit together, and like you got a little system going on, right, like you're taking care of yourself, you know, you're getting your needs met, whatever, you know, you have your life like you want it to at least some degree. Anybody who's not contributing to like bettering that, just no. It's just no. That's the answer. And I think a lot of people are just at a certain level, and that level is not complementary to someone who has got their shit together. I don't think that made any sense, but that's what we're going with. So, I think you understand what I mean. Like, I think you do. Like, you're a complete person. You want to be with a complete person. Yeah. That's it. There you go. So for those of you who are new, or who stop in this, I've started playing games on my phone, specifically game. It's really funny because when I think of gamer, I think of something very specific. You know, I think of people on consoles. I think of people on PCs. I think of people playing like fighting games, first-person shooters, role-playing games, stuff like that. I think of people playing like really involved games that are like going to be played, you know, over and over, and there's like a lot going on. I do not think of somebody playing on their phone, even playing Candy Crush like religiously. Seriously, which actually reminds me, I need to look and see if there's a Candy Crush option, because I haven't played Candy Crush in forever for reasons. Mostly because Candy Crush is like the worst. Like, it's the worst. It's the worst, y'all. It really is. That said, it is fun. Like, look, I love Bejeweled, okay? And like Candy Crush is Bejeweled with candy. And I gotta tell you, it's kind of a genius idea, right? Like, seriously. Candy Crush, it's very much so set up like kind of like a slot machine, right? There's a certain amount of like bright colors and like immediate gratification and whatnot, and so it keeps you playing. And I gotta tell you, like, that doing it right, like, it's awful as the person who's being subjected to this and the person who's getting roped into like playing something for like hours, right? But it's totally understandable how that might happen. Now that said, I would much rather like knit for hours, right, than play Candy Crush for hours. But you know, oh goodness. Oh, I can't believe today happened. So because today happened, by the way, and everybody was stressed out, I decided that what I would do is I would make chili for everybody. Like, I had some chili in my house that I had to get rid of, like cans of chili I need to make, so I did that. I even went to the store because I forgot something. And I just forgot that I also... Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry, y'all. I did not mean to do that. Here we go. But yeah, I had some chili. So I bought stuff to make the cornbread that I make. And I bought more stuff. I need to fix the cornbread recipe a little bit because I have this sneaking suspicion that my oven is not getting hot enough. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to toss the cornbread in for like a little while longer because I think it needs it, right? Like I cooked it to 27 minutes. Now the other option I thought about, and like baking is a science. Like there's definitely some like not just finesse in it, but like there's just rules you gotta follow. It cooks it at 400 degrees. I'm wondering if I cooked it at 425 or just even a little hotter than 400, right? If it would cook faster or better, like all the way through at that time. I know there's some like general guidelines, and I need to look them up because I don't know them off the top of my head because I generally do not fuck around with cooking times, right? Now, I will say a lot of the time when you're going to add time on, you need to add time on in like 2-minute increments. That's a safe thing to do because 2 minutes is usually not long enough to like completely ruin something, right? So what I might do is I might just do that, right? Put it back in the oven and give it 2 more minutes. And then just keep adding 2 more minutes, like until I think it's done. And at this point, I've cut the cornbread in pieces, so I can do this for like a piece or two. Instead of having to commit to like the entire thing. And really what I'll probably do is put it in the oven. I'm thinking about putting it in the oven in one of my like frying pans because I have pots and pans that can go inside the oven. Like I deliberately bought pots and pans that I could do that with. They're all metal and glass and nothing more. Because bitches think ahead. Yeah. So by the way, I'm determined to get through to 32. Okay. So we're at 30 right now. I've got 3 more rounds left after this one. And I've done 3 rounds. So we're gonna probably get this in an hour, and like I'm gonna stop after that. Because it's 10 o'clock and I actually should be doing like something else. And I'm gonna get to that point because I want to take pictures again. That's what I want to do. So here we are. I may get back on stream later and stream some Evermerge. I haven't played it. I don't know the last time. Oh, it's according to stream I played 2 days ago, I think. My concept of time is just no. Like, seriously. I really, really, really did in fact mean to get the brioche like worked on. But I had 4 rounds left, and I knew if I interrupted the stream to like turn off my timer.
What's this? What's this?
Oh my god. Why? Why is that a thing? Sorry. I don't know if you heard that. We weren't supposed to hear that. It was my phone telling me, hey. And I'm like, what do you mean, hey? And it's like, hey. I don't know what that was about. Oh my gosh. I have so many things to do, people. My head hurts too. God, this is killing me. I had a bunch of blueberries. They were the worst blueberries I've eaten in my life. They were smush. I also had a ding dong. It was a tasty cake. Mistake. Still tasted better than the blueberries though, which is really sad. And it tasted better than the blueberries because the blueberries didn't taste like they were supposed to. Right? It's a tasty cake did in fact taste like it was supposed to. Oh my gosh. So these are sock toes. I don't know why I didn't mention that, but like these are the toes of socks. So I got all the way to the finished part of the toe the other day. And by the other day I mean ages ago. And I realized something was wrong with it. Like it's like the measurements based on what they were, it wasn't gonna turn out right. And I was like, oh shit. And so I had to go and fix it. Well, in fixing it, I realized my math was wrong like in all the ways. And I was like, well shit. I'm like, so what you're saying is you're gonna frog these completely. And I'm like, yes, I'm gonna frog these completely. So I did that and restarted them with the new numbers in mind. And yeah. So here we are. Here we are. Oh my goodness. So, all right, get this. This is weird. Dude's hollering at me, right? I don't mention in any kind of detail what my day looks like, right? Like what's going on, like specifically, right? Y'all have gotten more detail than this guy has. And at one point, I said, I did mention that basically somebody got fired, right? And the thing he says to me, he says, at least it wasn't you. And I'm like, oh, there's no way they would fire me because I do my fucking job. And like, if nothing else, no matter what, the reasoning for them firing this person is not something I would ever do. So that's not something that's gonna ever be a problem. Like, ever. Okay. And it was like, well, you want to come work for us? And I was like, what? I thought that was really fucking weird. So, how are you going to holler at a girl and offer her a job? And I said this to Juice, and Juice was like, that's not weird. And I'm like, yeah, it is kind of weird. Also, if you're trying to holler at me and you offer a job and I take it, you're not allowed to holler at me no more. Like, period. Like, period. That's how that is. Like, no. Like, I do not mix business with pleasure. That is a huge hell no. Right? And I have no idea why. And then it's like, yeah, we're having trouble getting anybody in here. We can't even have people show up for interviews. And like, these are all like kind of red flags, right? As far as like working this place. Like, why? Why is it that you're consistently having problems doing these things? I'm like, sure, it could be, there's a lot of things it could be, right? But let's go horses and zebras, right? It might be that what you're offering isn't really worth it to somebody. And so, of course, you're not getting people who are taking you up on their offer. Your offer sucks, right? Look, I don't know. I didn't get any particulars. Like, I don't know what they're paying. I don't know what the hours are like. I have an idea what part of town it's in. It's farther, like, it's close, but it's still farther than I feel like going. Like, I literally am inside of 5 miles, okay, from where I work. So, like, I cannot argue with that. That's fucking grand and fantastic. Which is part of the selling point of this particular place. But, like, what? I don't know. I thought that was really weird. I said something to a friend. I was like, friend, is that not weird? Friend's like, no, that's totally weird. And I'm like, okay. It's not just me who thinks this is weird. No, and friend, of course, friend's first question was, okay, well, what's the pay like? And I'm like, I wanted to ask. I really did, because that's kind of like a huge deciding factor for me. Like, I already have work that I love to do where the pay doesn't like figure into it at all. So any extra work that I do, pay absolutely has to figure into it. Like, that is in no kind of way optional. That is required. So, yeah, I don't know. But I didn't ask because it was a management position and I have no desire to be in any kind of management. And then, for curiosity's sake, because I'm a nosy bitch, I was like, okay, so what exactly does this even entail? Like, what does this do? And dude describes it to me, and I'm just like, that sounds boring as shit. And I'm like, yeah, it probably is. And I told friend what I was told, and she was like, that does sound boring. And I'm like, I know. Like, I don't hate what I do now. I mean, I hate doing tires because fuck tires, right? But like, I don't have any problem with doing manual labor. I'm from the country. I'm 100% fine with it. I feel like I'm looking for someone a little more white collar than this is. I don't know. I'm gonna give him a fair chance, okay? He's kind of skating on thin ice though already. Most people end up there with me really quickly because I'm extremely politically correct. And I have no desire or tolerance for people making light of social issues. And a lot of people that I run into, for whatever reason, do. Which is weird. But sure, okay, whatever. Whatever. this. Today was something else. Something else. I really have got to start getting here on time. If it makes y'all feel better, I'm not on time for my day job either. Which is not on purpose. It's absolutely not on purpose. I don't like that. Like, I hate it. It's just how it ends up being. Right? So I got 2 more rounds left. Okay. Apparently I can't do math. That's awesome. So I think we're gonna have to redo some of this math. Because I actually did some of the math. I'm gonna probably, when this is done, we're gonna measure out the swatch a little bit and like make some notes, I guess. Actually, we could take a break and do this right now. Because I need to measure my gauge. Because the gauge is funny. The funny thing about this is this toe gets used as a swatch, basically. Which I think is actually a genius idea, because you can easily see like what's going on with it. And it's knit like how it's going to be knit. So it's knit in the round. Okay, so that looks like this is 10. Let's measure. And you got to measure in like a couple places too. Okay, so you'll do. Okay, so it looks like this is like maybe 10 and a half. We're going to measure one more time. Okay, so this is 11. So let's measure again. I'm sorry. I'm not sorry. I'm sorry. I'm not sorry. Yeah, so that's definitely 11. So 1 inch. That barking? Allie, wake up, Beast. She's like, what, mother? Okay. So the reason this matters is because math. I know. Math is the worst. I hate math. Okay, so that's funny. This is different. So this is 8 stitches. We gotta do math. We're gonna do some math here. Okay, yeah, that's solidly. We're gonna say it's solidly 8. So okay. So we need to do some math here. We need it to be 7.5 inches around. Okay. And the foot length. Okay, so let's get our calculator out. Did I mention how much I hate math? There's so much math in knitting, it's disgusting. Okay, so if I want 7.5 inches around, clear. So 7.5. That's how many inches, and 8 stitches are an inch. That means we're going to have 60. Okay, so that equals 60 stitches, and we're on track for that. So fucking right on. Now we need to figure out how long we want the sock. Okay, so that means the sock needs to be 8.75 inches long. Okay. So we get 8.75 times 11 gives us about 96 to 5 rounds. Excuse me, I always get that wrong. Okay. Now, for argument, we're probably going to make it 96 rounds. Because that. Now, it looks like 32, so 64 of those rounds. Oh, that's not right. 22. Yeah, 22 of those rounds. It's going to be toe. Another 22 is going to be heel. So we need to take 44. So it looks like we're going to have 52 rounds in the thing in it. So 96 though. You know, that's right. Because we're going to have the toe and the heel. So that's 44. Whoopsie. Oh my gosh. I did the wrong numbers. So it looks like I'm going to have to get up to... Looks like it's going to be 52 rounds. And then plus 22. So we're going to get it 74 rounds before we start the toe. Oh, heel. I'm sorry. Okay. That sounds about right, right? That sounds right. Let me tell you, I really want to paint my nails. I really don't want to deal with waiting for it to set, though. So, this is going to be our last round. That math was necessary, though. what's going to happen is we're going to mark this row. And I'm going to have to make a note of what round that is. It's going to be round 22. And what we're not going to do is like put it, because we're going to have to put the progress keeper on the next round, like the first of the foot, because I need to be able to count the round. And the only way I'm going to be able to do that is if it's done like that. Because if I were to put it on the row that's on the needles, it's going to distort it too. So socks are kind of my go-to when I want to knit and I want to make something and I don't want to concentrate too hard, because I make a lot of vanilla socks. Like all of my, not all of my socks. I do have a waffle pattern of socks. But like most of my socks are really colorful. And so they work a lot better with this kind of thing. I just realized that I have to put up the announcement on Patreon that I was here. Completely and utterly fucking spaced. I am the drama. So weird. Oh my gosh. So other things about these socks. I'm on the mission to create the perfect pair of socks, by the way. I think it's possible. And what I'm doing is I am determining, right, based on my numbers for a given pair of socks and the measurements I'm working with, like how tight I want my socks to be, and then going from there. I like a certain amount of negative ease in my socks, and I'm trying to achieve that. But that means that every sock I make, my hope is to get it a little better, a little closer to what I want it to be. And then at the point that I get it perfect, then I know that everything needs to meet these measurements and these standards. So, oh my goodness. I really did think I had a longer project. I I do apologize that I'm not gonna get to like go the next hour. That said, I totally thought I was on the foot of these socks because I was remembering my earlier progress. And so yeah, there's the problem. Therein is the problem right there. So anyway, because of that, I haven't done anything. I've been super unproductive, it feels like. Like, it's not expressly true, but there's things I could do. Like, I could set my uniform up in the evening before my work week begins. I haven't been doing that. I can make my beverages ahead of time. I haven't been doing that. Like, I have one of my beverages made. I'm still working on drinking 3 of them. And the other one was drank, but I haven't made it yet because it's lemon water and I don't want it to sit out. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to wait till the morning to add the lemon. Hello, hello. Working on socks. Because nothing else was at a point. Hello. Nothing else was at a point where I could work on it. I have some brioche knit that it needs work, but it needs 4 rounds. And that wasn't going to take up an hour. And then I have the Wild Heart, which is a lace paneled shawl. That wasn't going to take up an hour. I didn't think so anyway. So, yeah. I got a little bit of progress there. I've been making notes on my handy dandy post-it. How are you? Welcome. Gosh, my head hurts. Oh my gosh. I keep thinking it's because of caffeine. Like I'm not getting enough caffeine, but I don't know that that's true. To be honest with you, like, I really don't know that that's true. Excellent, excellent. Yeah, this is the first time I've worked on socks on stream. I don't think they're fiddly, but there's a lot of moving around with my hands. So I've been talking utter nonsense because that's what I do over here. Yeah. Conjecturing over the excitement, euphemism, that we had go on today at the day job. It's just too much. We're about to get a new person come in. Nobody's excited. I don't care, but I'm not excited about it. And I'm not excited for exactly the reason everybody else is concerned. Is this new person going to gel with the, what is it? The environment, the atmosphere that we've created? Or are they going to be terrible? We're going to find out. That's okay. I'm honestly there to collect a paycheck and come home. I do get to see some weird shit. So I work in a garage, for those of you who are new and do not know. And today's fun included somebody came in to get a tire plugged. No, it's patched is what we do. Which is funny. So a plug is a little more temporary and a patch is a little more permanent. And the setup that we have technically is both. So it is a patch that has a little nodule that goes on the through the hole to the outside of the tire. And it's applied from the inside. So anyway, a lot of times people will say they are losing air in their tire and will assume that it means that you have a nail or some obstruction in the tire. And that's not necessarily the case. There's all kinds of reasons that you might lose air in your tire that do not mean that there's something wrong with the tire itself. Sometimes it's the barometric pressure. It changes, and so how your tires read will change, right? It happens. That's not weird. That's literally science. Also, your tires, if you never put air in them, will slowly but surely go down, right? That will happen. Yeah. And they'll change when the weather gets warmer, when it gets colder, normal. You can also have slow leaks in your valve stem, which is not a tire problem, it's a valve stem problem. That's really easy to replace and doesn't actually require you to take the whole damn tire off, which is yay, because taking the whole damn tire off is annoying. You can absolutely have an obstruction in your tire and that will absolutely leak. But from there, it's usually a lot faster, unless it's like super tiny. So people will come in and say, oh, I have a nail in my tire. And not because they've seen it, not because that's actually what's going on. They just assume that because I'm losing air, I must have a nail in my tire. It's like, I mean, okay. Sure, that's a possibility. But we're going to look at it and make sure. First car I pull in, there is not one nail. There are 3. Like, what in the hell? So the funny thing is, these 3 screws, which is what they were also placed really close together. And so I gotta tell you, it does not look like an accident. So it looks like somebody did that on purpose, which super sucks for that person. But because it was multiple, and because they were so close together, there was you can't patch that. Yeah, they were like, when I say close together, it's kind of like somebody played jacks and they were like boop boop boop. They were really close together. I also pulled them out of the tire, and every single one of the screws was like brand fucking new. Like shiny new. Okay. So they had not been where they were like for too long. Yeah, I collect all the little sharp things that I pull out of tires because I'm weird like that. Raisins. Total raisins. Secret raisins. So that happened. Well, also, they were super close to the edge. And that's another thing. There's a specific area of the tire that can be patched. And anything outside of the area, no. It can't. And a lot of times, I don't know, at least half the time, maybe 40%, 45% of the time, that's where it is. It's somewhere where it can't get patched. And people was like, I just want it patched. And it's like, that's great if it's possible. It may not be possible, though. Which apparently is very hard to understand. Now, I don't know a ton about cars. And I don't presume to, right? I will not tell anybody that I do. In fact, if somebody asks me a question, I'll be like, I am not the person to ask. I'm literally here to do what I'm told. That is it, right? That said, I don't argue with my mechanic, right? If my mechanic says that this is what's going on, this is how something needs to be done, I do not argue with that man. Like, I do not. If I'm asking you to help me, right? I'm paying you to assist me. I don't need to argue with you. That doesn't make any sense. That happens all the time. 4, 6, 8, 10. Uh-oh. That's weird. Did we go a step too far? Oh, no, we're supposed to. Okay. See, I'm having trouble. Counting is hard. Yeah, I've already taken these socks out once. I want to do it again. I thought to myself, hold on, I'm reading. Oh, yeah. No, I'm from the South. I totally get it. So, I'm like team revenge all the way around. Okay, so this is going to be 32. This is 64. I think I'm going to have to take out this last round. Because this says it wants 60 stitches, and I've got 64 here. That's weird. Let's check our math. Let's check our math. Oh yeah, the Southern women are not the ones to piss off. Don't mess with people who like have access to swamps. It's not a good idea. Because see, this is insisting that I need to do 32 stitches a side. I don't think that's right though. So the math has it out. If it's 8 stitches, and I want it 7.5, it needs to be 60 stitches. So I think we're gonna have to tank back. I think we are. That's super weird. That's super weird. That is super weird. Apparently, counting is hard. So the question is, do I tank back or do I just call it a day? How about this? Let's go ahead forward and measure it again. And that, like, measure, was it? Measure twice, cut once? Yeah. If I have to tank back one round, that won't be too bad. Actually, it won't be one round, it'll be 2. But that's fine. I think it's really funny and very interesting and creative that knitters call knitting backwards tink because knit backwards is tink. And I think that's freaking hilarious. I like how it ended up that way. Yeah, there's so much math involved in knitting. It's disgusting. I hate it. I'm not good at math. That's why I hate it. I think that's fair, though. It's 100% fair for you to not like something you're bad. You know, I had been knitting a while before I heard it, and someone said tank, and I was like, what the hell is that? And they're like, it's knit backwards, and I was like, shit, it is. Look at that. That's funny. So they'll also call undoing things frogging, right? But frogging applies to any and every, fiber art that involves you taking something apart. So like taking your crochet out is also frogging. And that is, oh my God, what happened here? Whoa, what is going on here? That's weird. Have I been? That is super weird. Did I miss a stitch? Did we miss a stitch? That is super, super weird. What the fresh hell is that? Today, in knitting. What? Yeah. Apparently the whole frogging, it says rip it. And I don't know, that just might be a weird fiber nerd joke. I gotta be honest with you. Might be what that's from. Okay, so what we're gonna do now is we're gonna measure our little toe swatch again. Because if I need to take this out, I need to know. I'm not gonna take it out now because I don't feel like it. I gotta be honest with you. I don't feel like it. Listen up here, cable. Jerk. And really, we're only concerned with the stitches across here. Okay, so that one says 8. Maybe 8.5. Yeah, that says 8.5. This is one of those things you've got to measure in several places because you want to get an accurate count. Oh my gosh. Least favorite thing to do is doing this crap. Yep, nope, 8.5 it is. Oh, dear God. Okay, so now I have to adjust this. So a little math. Okay. And since we're doing that, like, let's go ahead and double check our fucking heights too. Shit. That'll be a good idea. Oh my gosh. Probably should. So that one looks like it's 11. Okay, let's go over here and count this one. Because seriously, I've gotten 10 and 11. There goes Adelaide's freaking snoring over there. See, this is the problem. They keep getting different numbers. So that one's 11 right here. Let's try this side. She loves those little light bulb stitch markers. I don't know what it looks like. Okay, we'll measure one last time. So this is 11. So 11, we're going to call that right. But, get our calculator out. 7.5. Okay, so this has us at 63.75. That's at an 8.5 stitch is per inch to get 7.5. That's what we gotta go for. Now, if I go with 64, which is what we've got right now, it's going to be slightly bigger than that, right? So 63.75. So we're going to go 8.5 stitches times 32. Oh, not 32, 64. Whoa! No, that's not right. That's not right. Oh, I know what it is. I think it's 64 divided by 8.5. So this is going to give us 64 stitches at 8.5 stitches an inch is 7.52 or 5.3 if we want to cut it off. That's only slightly bigger than what we need for. And if we went with 62 stitches, it would be 7.3. So it would be significantly, like that significant smaller would be smaller enough that it would be noticeable. So we will keep it that way. There we go. There's our socks. There's our progress. Our toes are done. There's this weird, oh my freaking god, that happened here, which is because the needle got caught. Good job, me. I'm going to put my progress keeper in after I take a picture, which is going to be after I do the first round of the foot. And we're going to call it good. So, math is hard. Yay! Thanks for being here. Thanks for stopping by. I appreciate y'all making the time and hanging out with me. And I will see you later. So long. Farewell. Auf Wiedersehen. Good night.